Hi everybody, welcome to the Meta Report, and this week I've been joined by Scott Mines. How are you, Scott?
I'm very well, thank you, Baz. How are you today?
I'm very well. I'm very well indeed.
Good,
You're
good to
becoming
hear.
a regular, but
I
you
am.
know, but you are a very busy man now. You've
Mm.
just got a new role, TCG player. Do you want to tell us what it is?
Yeah, sure. We kind of joked about it back in skirmish season a little bit. I couldn't say too much, but
Yeah.
luckily I've become what we call the emergence games writer over at TCG Player. So if you join me for Fab content only, don't panic. That actually means there will be more of it. It just means that my hours go up and I have obligations elsewhere as well. So I get to spend my time now exploring every game on the market, making content for all of them, and just trying to help people find the games that fit them best to make sure that we've all got a place to play on tabletop. So, yeah, more content from me, even more than before. And if you were thinking about hopping into another game, I can probably help you out with that now.
Nice. It does mean that I'll probably have less time. You'll have less time to come onto my little show.
Oh, of course not. No, Baz. I'll always give you the time of day. Always. As I say, I'm becoming a bit of a regular. One of these days, I'll have to do the intro and pretend it's my show because at this point, I'm here as much as you are. And yeah, no, always be worth the time. If you always want me to be here, I will be. So.
Very kind of you. Okay. So the last big thing you did in Fab was obviously commentary for Calling Lyon, which Alan Marlborough produced. He was the producer behind the stream. I was the hands and sort of like the card picker. Sometimes I got a chance to do an interview, but yeah, people got to hear you pretty much every round. Mate, you were fantastic. Absolutely
Oh, thank you,
fantastic.
Baz. I appreciate that. And honestly, thank you to everybody who's watching along who passed on their kind words as well. I had a much more positive reception than I expected. We're always our own worst critics and that, but people were very kind. The words were very positive, including from a lot of the LSS team as well. So I had a blast. I have always wanted to cast a IRL event for Flesh and Blood. Lyon was my first opportunity to do that in the Flesh and Blood, if you like. And of course, I've wanted to be finding an excuse to be working with you and Alan for a while now as well. So I got to kill multiple birds with one stone. And by the sounds of it, everybody was mildly entertained. So hopefully it's the first of many.
I did say to you a couple of days afterwards, I read a quote that said, "The only real magic in this world is what we speak and what we write," and that was
Absolutely.
definitely summed up, my experience of listening to you at Lyon. Sure.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Nice. Right, okay, but we are here to talk about Pro QuestvLondon. London has been revealed as the Pro Tour location at the Excel Centre right in the heart of London, Docklands. So this is what we're all playing for. We've got 5 games to go through plus a bonus. So let's get cracking. We're going to start off as always, I should say, in London, Gamers World in Dublin, 20 players, so a really good turnout. Conor McGrath was here. He was the runner-up at Calling Lyon with Azalea. So, no surprise, sort of like Azalea comes out in force at their first Pro Quest.
Yeah, not surprised to see that. Obviously, I became familiar with Gamers World before, but seeing them getting spoken about on coverage multiple times as Connor took scalp after scalp was a nice treat over the course of the weekend. This is a very sweet meta game. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this going forward. There's kind of an established status quo in the face of Lyon. People kind of know what's up, and they're trying to refine those final details heading into the World Championship. We don't screw around on ProQuest season. People are obviously playing for something that they care about. The invite to London is on the table for everybody this time. No one's playing and not going to the Pro Tour. It all feels very tangible, given how close it is for all of us.
Yeah.
So I expect a lot of real sweat and blood this season. So yeah, Azalea, great into Enigma. A little surprised by only 2 Enigma in this case, but Aurora, one of those heroes we saw turning up in force. So the top of this board makes a whole lot of sense. Cool to see a Vincent. Very cool to see a Zen. They've actually been having a little bit of success worldwide so far this Pro Quest season. So don't write Zen off just yet. But this looks like a really fun event to play in.
Yeah, a lot of people right at the beginning of Rosetta's season was saying that Vincent, watch out for her. She's going to do great things. We haven't really seen it yet. We've seen Viserai come back, but obviously there's no Viserai here. We're going to see his head pop up later. But let's get into the top 4, shall we? Oh,
Absolutely.
there we go. Dylan Thompson on Azalea. He's won the Irish Nationals twice, 2023 and 2024. 3 Pro Quest 3s, a Skirmish 6 and 2 Skirmish 7s. Peter Smith on Vincent. Matt Duggan makes his debut in the Irish meta. Normally we see Matt sort of like travelling the north of the UK, but he's travelled over the Irish Sea. He's playing Florian. He's got a Pro Quest 3, a Pro Quest 4 and a Skirmish 7 under his belt. Will he take it down today? And then we've got Jose Mestanza on Aurora, who's she is becoming a fan favourite. There was a whole buzz about her at Lyon, so no surprise that she's made it there.
Very strong hero. Kind of what we alluded to a moment ago here in full effect. People want these invites. They are going to be few and far between for a home turf Pro Tour, and that's why we see people like Matt making the trip to Ireland to try and secure as many chances as possible here. In terms of these matchups, obviously Aurora, Florian, quite new and very nuanced depending on builds and matchups and the rest of it. I feel like from what my limited experience in that matchup so far, I'm happier to be on the Aurora side of that matchup. So I'm gonna go with Jose on that side. And Vincent Aurora Vincent Azalea, in my opinion, is a much less fun matchup, and I would much rather be on the Azalea side. So I'm going to guess Azalea Aurora for this final.
Okay. Let's see how that shakes up. So we've got Dylan Thompson, reigning Irish champion, versus Matt Duggan on Florian.
This is two heavy hitters. This is absolutely two heavy hitters of the game here. And Florian's got plenty of game into Azalea thanks to all those root-bound carapaces and stuff, but I do think he's slightly lacking in closing power, and I think that gives Azalea a lot of time to set up all the nonsense she wants to in this matchup and kind of circumvent the damage those defense reactions can do. So I'm going to say this was Dylan.
Dylan, you are correct. It was Dylan Thompson. Well done, Dylan. You ain't the Irish champion for nothing, are you? Sort of like, yeah.
Or defend home territory in spots like this. You'll never live it down otherwise. So congratulations to you, Dylan. That's good to see you putting on the result, and good to see you doing it on everyone's favourite assassin, which I got told off for saying on the broadcast. She's definitely a ranger, but she's an assassin too, folks. Leave me alone.
She plays all those pesky assassin cards, that's for sure.
It's all Codex of Frailty. It's all the same to me.
Yeah. Gold foil hasn't arrived yet, so we can't say what it is.
That's a shame.
I did ping Romana message just to say, they haven't got their gold foils, just to let you know. So hopefully the store and Roman can sort that out, and Dylan can get his gold foil, a well-deserved one indeed. So let's see, sort of like the meta map for Ireland. There we go. Azalea stamps herself down into Dublin. Well done, Dylan. Well done indeed. 2 more to go. Okay, Dice Cup in Nottingham, 37 players. I was here, I was recording. They should be coming out sort of like Tuesday onwards, all the way through to Friday. But yeah, 5 Aurora, 5 Enigma, 5 Levia, which I found very strange when I saw the meta breakdown. I was like, blimey, 5 Levia. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yep, this was a bit of a barn burner event, and as I say, the fight is tough this season. 37 is a large number of players. 10 of them were from Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
The contingent making their way down, flooding the cards. Everyone's eager. We all want to play at those Pro Tours. Not myself, sadly. I was unable to acquire the time to go and visit Dice Cup based on everything happening IRL. But it was lovely to see so many of my passionate compadres making their way down that way and staking a claim. In terms of metagame, this is, again, a lot of what we expected to see. Arguably a little bit more viscerai than you'd expect, but people are getting wind of Big Purple. I like Big Purple quite a lot in this current format. It's been really fun for me to play personally, and I think it's being slept on maybe a little bit. Huge kudos to the 2 Verdant players, obviously my favorite hero from the new set, so very glad to see some of those on the tables. And a good shout out to Charlie Fahey as well on Dash.io, brave enough to play it right now before those armory deck upgrades, where I myself will be waiting for the upgrades to play in a couple of weeks' time. So
indeed, I did spot one of his games. He had Plasma Mainline, to give him a bit more crank, or the ability to crank and keep his items around a little bit longer. Some games he kind of had to defend a little bit more and try and build up his pounders before sort of like unleashing the power of the mechanologist. But the amount of players here, it was really good. You had sort of like George Roger, you had Matt Folkes there, so you had 2 UK national champions. Isaac Murray was there, Samee Braben, the Calling Birmingham winner. So you were looking around just going, wow, okay, this is going to be hotly contested indeed. But who made it into the top 4? There we go. Rob Catton on Aurora. We saw him playing Aurora at Calling Lyon. He has changed his deck a little bit so he doesn't get stuck with the Sigil of Lightnings, which kind of like he got a little bit unstuck by when he was on stream. James Clark is on Viserai. He normally plays Ninja. An RTN 2023 under his belt. Rob Catton, obviously, World San Jose top 8, Skirmish 6, 2 Skirmish 7s, a Pro Quest 4, Battle Hardened Liverpool winner, a Skirmish 9, there we go, and many more that before.
And a Partridge and a Pear True, yes. Yeah, Rob does get around and wins many events.
Yeah, Isaac Fogg on Florian and Liam Canning on Enigma, RTN 2021, RTN 2023, and a Pro Quest 5. His Enigma was the dreaded CYB deck.
Certainly was. So I won't hold anyone in suspense for this one. Obviously, with such a strong showing from Manchester, I am aware of how this event went down, mostly because it didn't finish until almost 10 p.m. in the evening. So that might be a dead giveaway as to how this played out roughly. So if I remember correctly, I believe this is the lovely James Clark on Viserai against Liam Canning's CYB Enigma in the finals.
How did you know?
Was indeed taken down by the blessing counting finest pants in flesh and blood in the form of Liam Canning.
It was indeed. I would say that Hamish got into the top 8. Hamish from Push the Point got into the top 8. His game versus Liam and was really good. My computer actually had a total brain fart and I missed recording that one. But yeah, it'd be good to get Hamish's views when you check out Push the Point on how to combat this, because he stacked up his rune chants really well. And but Liam, the canny player he is, oh my god, he pulled out such a brilliant move. Hamish was trying to get a Oath of the Ninth Blade from his banish. From his discard pile. And Liam banished it as soon as he picked the card to play.
Yep, with Passover. Yeah, lovely way to do that. I heard it was a pretty stellar matchup. I actually quite like Viserai as a pick into Enigma, just because those rune chants really can be quite problematic to prevent while preventing physical damage and doing anything productive. And I'm sure we saw that in full effect in that game, which I'm sure was played perfectly by both players.
It was really, really good. It's a shame that I missed it. My computer, I was cursing my computer. Right, but I've got a gold foil to see.
Indeed. Sadly, I do know what this one is. So
you do know?
I do know, yes. Yeah. As I say, word gets around when so many of my contingent travel to these things. Look at that outfit, by the way. Liam Canning never disappoints.
Smartest trousers
in
fab.
What a beautiful human being.
It's this way, isn't it? Yeah, and then you flip it.
Hold on. Before you flip it, what do you want?
I don't know. Metacarpus?
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone wants Metacarpus.
I'll actually play that.
You play that Kano, right?
Actually, I don't have a gold foil. So,
anyone
I'm upgrading to gold foil instead.
Anyone's not familiar, Red Bear is actually brand new this season. It is one of the commons that wasn't available beforehand. It's available for the very first time. Obviously, slots right into Kano, which is very much in Liam Canning's wheelhouse. So.
Indeed. Yeah, I didn't even recognise it because I never use wizard stuff. So I was just like, what the hell is that card? So,
very, very strange choice personally for a gold foil, but I'll take it over Bone Vizier or Coat of Frost any day. So,
righty. So that was Dice Cup. So you can check out the videos that are coming out for the gameplays. Now, Board Game Hut in Southend, 21 players. Again, 3 new. I was not expecting new as the highest picked hero for this one. 2 Aurora, Azalea. We expect those to be there. Bravo's even come out to play, which, maybe they know something that we don't. But
Brave soul.
With new about, I hope you dodge them for sure.
This is very much a bit of a stomping ground for New by the looks of things. I think if I was in the room as this one Enigma, I would be quite ecstatic about how this room looks between Tekla Vossens and Bravos and multiple News along the way. That being said, huge shout out to the Acilio. I love that deck. It is some of the funnest gameplay I've had in Flesh and Blood in a long time. Unfortunately, I think it's really kind of bad. It feels like it was designed with the tomes in mind, which of course are not with us anymore. So it might need a little bit of juice, but I'm really hoping that one down there in Southend on Sea is ready to prove me wrong, because I want that deck to be good so badly.
Okay, shall we see then?
Let's take a peek.
Unfortunately, they didn't make it. But when you have the calibre of players that made it into the top 4, it probably explains why. Jamie Faulkner on CYB Enigma, Skirmish Season 6, ProQuest 4, is a UK Nats runner-up in 2023. Jacob Clements on New, RTN 2023-2024, ProQuest 4, Skirmish 7, Skirmish 9 winners. So, yeah, he's a phenomenal player on New. Alex Kitsu on Florian, UK National Champion 2023, ProQuest 4, calling Warsaw top 8. And he is a Runeblade main, so he is loving this current one. I am
very
surprised.
Happy to be back.
Yeah, I am surprised he's not playing Viserai, because Viserai was his hero for absolutely years.
I'm surprised they got him off Dash. It's been a hot second since we've seen Alex playing anything that isn't aggro Dash. So very happy they've found somewhere to find their allegiances again.
Indeed. Righty, Okey-dokey. What do you reckon? CYB versus Jacob.
It's actually very interesting to see Jacob not playing CYB Enigma, given they were the one to bring this chaos to light in the first place sometime last week. But you'll never catch me betting on New into Enigma. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to guess that Jamie took that. I find the Florian Victor matchup much more interesting. You got to be doing something a bit special to be finding success with Victor right now. So maybe there's something in the list I'm not aware of. But I'm going to go with Alex in that matchup for now. So we'll say Enigma Florian.
Enigma Florian. It was indeed. So this final is basically these two guys fought each other for the UK National Championship in 2023, with Alex coming out on top in that one. But Jamie is a bit of an illusionist main. So he's he's no stranger to that class. He's just switched dragons for wards.
Both these players kind of know these classes inside and out. They're not the same heroes, but they are the same flavors as many of the successes they found previously. And truthfully, I don't know enough about the intrinsics of this matchup yet to be very confident about how this result went. My initial feeling would be that this has to be favored for CYB Enigma. So I'm gonna guess that Jamie took this down.
See, he did. So well done, Jamie. Yeah, well done. CYB wins again. We need to find a way to stop this. So poison the wells.
I'm going to be looking for some kind of other blessing, because quite frankly, this is not my speed. I've said this to a few people that have spoken to me about the deck since its emergence over in Lyon. I don't necessarily think it's too powerful. I don't necessarily think it's a problem even. But I do acknowledge the play experience is maybe not the most enjoyable thing for certain parts of the Fab community. And I'm certainly actively looking for ways to punish this deck currently.
Yeah, I think it's going to take some time. It will come through, until someone's got sort of like a strategy that is viable against it. Obviously, you got Poison the Well. Brian Gottlieb mentioned Gravekeeping to try and.
Don't worry. Give us 2 weeks. The Dash.io Armory deck will be doing you all kinds of favors in the face of Enigma. So, well done, Jamie. Well done, Jamie, indeed. Absolutely.
Righty, let's get on to the draft portion. Let's see how these sort of pan out.
Ooh, draft.
Yes, this is the other portion. Dyson Destiny Canterbury, 14 players, a little bit smaller turnout for drafts. This is sort of like the numbers that we're seeing, that I'm seeing, sort of like for the 3 events we're covering. It's a bit of a strange mix, this pod. 5 Florians. I was like, blimey, okay. Is it because people are considering Florian to be best in class?
I think we're going to see a little bit of this quite a lot, actually, as people figure out this draft format. I've gone on record saying this a few times, and not everyone agrees with me, so it's something I'd actually kind of like to have a discussion about. But I find this format is actually signposted in a very strange way. When you look at formats like Uprising or even like part of the Misfail, we kind of go, oh, someone ended up in New or someone ended up in, Icelander or Fi. It's like very definitive as to what you could expect from their deck. And I don't find that so far in Rosetta. I find there are a number of different ways to draft each of these heroes, depending on what you want to prioritize early. It feels close to Tales of Aria in that respect. So you can draft a deck that is like very heavy on the Runeblade cards, all the meet and greets and Deadwood Dirges and like Rune Rager Swarms and stuff, and just completely ignore all the Earth cards and just let the other Florians have those, let the Vedances have those, and just be a Runeblade. And you can even draft that deck as Aurora if you want to, and just ignore all the Lightning cards and let Acilio have all the Lightning, all the other Auroras, and so on and so forth. And the same applies to Wizard. You can choose to be the Aether Quickening, Trailblazing Aether deck, or you can focus on your element of choice. So pods like this look a little bit lopsided, where it's like, oh my god, five Florians. That's a bit of a weird draft. What happened there? And sure, there's a very good chance someone here probably should have been Verdance, with there only being 2 Wizards in the pod as well. But there are a number of ways to draft these decks that it just kind of is. It's okay. You can end up in a deck that is just not actually bad, even though you're one of 5 Florians in the pod, which is a very unique draft experience, in my opinion.
Do you not think you're doing yourself a disservice by not trying to activate his ability?
I think so. I think it depends on what your priorities are. If you expect to be in a pod like this that's very heavy Florian, I think being the mono Runeblade version is much worse into that pod, because you're unfavored into the earth heavy activate Florian's ability pseudo mirror match. But there are pods that are more lightning heavy, that have more Auroras or have more Verdances, and I really like the Runeblade version of Florian into Verdance, because she's not particularly well equipped to handle arcane damage on the way back, and that deck is much better at Deadwood Dirging and making 5 rune chants on turn 2 or turn 3 and just stealing games away by being very aggressive. And when you're not Aurora, Verdance doesn't necessarily expect you to come out all guns blazing, and Meet and Greet and Rune Rager Swarm do a very good job at that. So there's a lot of diversity in this format that I think is left to be explored, and I'm hoping we see some of that as this season kind of evolves.
Nice. Okay, so let's get on to the top 4. So the top 4, Jacob Clements on Aurora, Finley Shepherd, Jason Rolfe, Jack Mountford, all on Florian. We've already covered Jacob's credentials. We know that he's won a lot. Finley Shepherd, battle-hardened Liverpool runner-up. He fought against Rob Catton in that awesome final where Rob showed off Prism. Jason Rolfe, Skirmish 6-2, Skirmish 7, so the Pro Quest 5. Used to be the 90-day XP king. He's not got that title anymore. And Jack Mountford, UK Nationals 2024 top 8, where he played Prism. And you can go and watch him on stream for that game as well. So, good caliber.
Every time we do this show, you're showing me a top 4 that's just a row of killers, just every time. And I'm realizing that's not because it's necessarily the same people. It's just there's more killers in the UK than there was before. And I don't mean that literally, thankfully. But everyone's just putting up piles of results, and it's just hard to walk into a room and feel like you can be a favorite anymore. I mean, just look at some of the prestige on display. It's no wonder we've got a Pro Tour on the horizon. Guessing this one is going to be a bit harder. I have no context on anyone's draft decks, and there are 3 of the same hero. But with that being said, let's take a shot in the dark. I'm going to say this was a Jacob Jason final and see how close we were.
Spot on, mate. Well done.
All right. Well, again, similar thing here. I have no way of knowing how this went, so we're just going to go a shot in the dark. I haven't heard about this result. I feel like I would have heard if it was Jacob, so let's say it was Jason. Damn.
It was Jacob.
All right. Well, in which case, fair play to Jacob. I think if you're making an educated guess about that pod, there's 1 Aurora, only 3 Lightning heroes. It makes a lot of sense that the 1 Aurora managed to take it down. But guessing was way more fun there, so fuck it.
Well done, Jacob. The gold foil open was Ironhide Gauntlets.
Okay,
that's not bad.
Not as good as it maybe once was, but could definitely be Coat of Frost, so we'll take that.
Righty. Living Realms, the last one in the UK. So this is 16 players, like I said, sort of like 14 that we had sort of like in Dice and Destiny. We've got 16 here. This is the top 8 draft. This is a lot of Earth.
This is a lot worse than the pod we just saw. This feels like the kind of pod that someone's going to have a pile of baubles. Maybe a couple of you have a pile of baubles. Because it's really hard to have 7 Earth heroes and not find that to be the case.
This was all the Manchester boys again, and
I admittedly I don't know the result of this one because they went down on the Sunday. I was a bit more occupied. But this is a bit of a disaster of a pod. I wouldn't be too happy to be in this one, I think.
Okay. Let's see how it shakes up. Right, Aurora didn't make it. I don't know how she didn't make it. Oh my god! Right, Jake Warburton on Verdance, Noah Hicks on Verdance, and Rob Catton on Verdance. Isaac Murray on Florian. So it was an all-Earth draft with pretty much an all-Earth sort of like top 4.
Whoa. I have no idea what happened to Aurora.
I think the Lightning player dropped his deck, run out of time, and then that was it. It was out.
That's a rough beat. I thought I had a clear avenue of guessing in this top 4, but evidently not. Again, look at the quality of players in this room. All 4 of these players is incredibly accomplished, one way or the other.
Jake Warburton, obviously, calling Pro Tour Lille. No, Pro Tour Baltimore, top 8.
Yes, would be PT3 on Azalea. Yeah, lovely top there. Obviously, Rob, his Partridge and Pear Tree has already been discussed. Isaac, foreign success in numerous callings. Noah, of course, a fan favorite in the local communities and a heck of a wizard.
He's really good. Won multiple skirmishes. He's won a Pro Quest as well. So he's a force to be reckoned with. He's still learning.
Everyone's insane at card games. Yeah. It's so much harder than it used to be.
He's only 17. He's getting better. So
there you go. I am going to have to guess that he fell at the hands of the baker in this case. But again, it's a Verdance mirror. Who knows? Mm-hmm. And I actually quite like being the Verdance against Florian myself. So I'm going to guess Rob beat Isaac as well for a Verdance final.
Okie dokie. Right. Noah took down the baker. So it is a Verdance final. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes some sense to me. Fair play to Noah. Congratulations. That's not an easy win. Do I think you were a Kingslayer twice? I don't know. As a betting man, it feels wrong to bet against Rob Catton, so I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to say that Rob took this down.
Let's see. He did take it down. Yes. Normally, Rob waits until the last week to win an event. He sort of like built himself up.
That's true.
I think he won this one because I wasn't there recording. So we got
get it out of the way. Yeah, it doesn't want to risk you putting him on stream later in the season and screwing his chances to make it to London. So might as well get it out of the way now.
Indeed. Hopefully, I'll catch him on the stream at EH Gaming next week. So yeah, righty. One more to go. This is we've covered the UK segment, but it's always nice to see what's going to go on in another country that I don't normally cover. Okay, so this is from Dizzy Tank. This is Mines of Moria in Logrono. 13 players. Like I said, draft is a little bit underrepresented. So 3 Florian, 3 Verdance, and 2 Aurora. So a little bit like Living Realms, but not quite.
This is closer to what I expect. Again, I think at the moment, this format, people firmly believe the Earth heroes are the better heroes. I don't even think they're wrong necessarily. I do think some of the Lightning synergies are a little underexplored, and the people that find success at Worlds might be the ones to have fleshed those out, even if they don't end up drafting those heroes in the pods in question. Very cool logo here from the store. Very thankful for your results. And this is kind of what I expect to see from most week 1 draft pods, and honestly, probably most of the draft pods next week as well.
Do you think that it could be people are looking at Earth heroes because, I've opened quite a few displays now, and sort of like Lightning cards are a bit light in the packs. Like you're not really seeing the powerful M Lightning cards, whereas you are getting more of, the sought after M cards for Earth are turning up more here in the packs. Like the distribution just seems a little bit off.
I think there's some part of that. I have heard some rumours that there might be some print run issues on certain commons, from what I understand. I don't know the details, even though they have been shared with me, so I'm not going to speak on it too much. But I'm sure if people want to go and do their own research, there are some pack openings being studied to try and understand how true that might be. I also think, truthfully, Basilio is just an exceptionally complicated hero to build, even in Classic Constructed. And I think that's amplified, pardon the pun, in draft significantly more than it would be otherwise. And trying to put together some kind of comprehensive Basilio deck is very hard. And I think it's going to take people more draft experience to make that happen. So for now, I think we're seeing a lot of the cards that would really shine in those decks going quite late in these draft pods because people don't really know how to use them. And are kind of prioritizing cards that are very obviously powerful. Like we all know Red Autumn's Touch is a solid draft card. It blocks 3. It's an Earth card. It smacks you in the face for 7. But how good is a Sigil of Lightning or a Sigil of Conductivity? That's a little harder to gauge without a lot of practice.
Right, okay, top 4 time. We don't really know these players. Adrian Usagi Marin, he's a Sunflower Samurai, I've been told, on Aurora. Hosu Landrazabal, I'm sorry, I'm just like, my pronunciation is going to be really bad and I'm going to try and hide away from the camera. On Florian, Nicholas Scandalis on Florian as well, and Josep Gine, I'll say, is on Verdance. It's a little bit harder because it's not really names you're going to recognise, as such.
No, of course, there's not that much to gauge there in terms of I don't recognise the names so much, but that's a learning opportunity for me more than anything else. As I kind of alluded to a moment ago, I quite like being Verdance into Florian myself. It's a matchup I like to see if I'm in the draft pod. So I'll take Hosep as the Verdance in this case, and hopefully they manage to pull that out. I do think this pod was heavily enough weighted in the favor of the Earth heroes that I will give Adrian the nod on Aurora for now, and we'll see if they prove me wrong.
Okie dokie. So
very
it's
wrong.
the only
very
time
wrong.
Where it's a complete miss, mate. But
yeah, no, I can't
matter.
bat 100 forever.
Doesn't matter until the final, does it?
No, of course. And the truth is, this one is just a coin flip. I sadly don't know either of these players. The Florian matchup depends very heavily on the cards you received in the draft that are very impactful in the mirror match. So we're just flipping. And for that reason, if Nicholas's deck was good enough to beat a Verdance, I think it's probably good enough to win the mirror as well. So I'll go with Nicholas in this case.
Okay. Wasn't it? Was Hosu Land
Pure Zero. There we go. All it takes to throw me off is to show me an event from another country, and suddenly my powers have faded dramatically.
Apparently, he won a Pro Quest in the same shop last time as well. So he must be the reigning champion of the store, we shall say. And he opened a Time Skippers as his gold foil. So I actually think that's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll take a Time Skippers. I think that's one that's new this season as well, from what I understand. So, good open there.
Nice. Just one more thing to cover is the meta maps. We see Verdance there that was drafted by Rob Catton. We have, there we go, we have Enigma there at Nottingham, which was the CYB deck by Liam Canning. And again, Enigma by Jamie Faulkner, CYB again, and Jacob Clements taking down Dyson Destiny with Aurora. There are more to follow, more matches next week, and these are where we are going to be covering Church of the D20 in Loughborough. That's going to be quite a small affair. Grady's going to be doing that. It's got about room for about 20 players. So it's a small shop, but Grady's a fantastic guy. Dark Sphere London, that should be a very big event for next week. EH Gaming, where I'm going to be recording Landon Games in Ipswich, Seventh Dimension in Belfast, and Spellgrotten in Uddevalla, Sweden. You can go on Sunday. There's the double header on the East Coast in Norfolk. Skyward Fire Games, Lowestoft. There are quite a few people who are looking at doing a double header. So they should be quite hotly contested. So I'm looking forward to that. And Entoyment Wargaming in Poole. I think Pete Ward's going to that one. So it's going to be that's going to be a big one too.
Very nice.
The last thing to do is cheers, Scott. Thank you very much for taking some time and coming on. It's awesome that you come on and help me do this. For Ireland, Cole B, Arcanet Spike, Dylan Thompson. For the UK, Jonathan Hicks, Liam Holden, Cody Cast, Jake Kitchen, James Armstrong, Chopio, Ben Westmore, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce that one because my pronunciation is going to be even worse. But thank you so much for all the information. That was Board Game Hut.
That's BLT, so we'll refer to you as a sandwich for now, and thank you.
One of the best sandwiches, mate. That is
absolutely.
My patrons: Andrew Rayner, Boltful, Mike Kerslake, Callum Dorling, Darren Burdock-Latter, Ross Hewitt, Adam Hale, George Jones, and Mehmet Hussain. Thank you. I've had a little bit of a spike in patrons, so if you wish to join those and get your name in the credits and gain 10% discount from Buy the Same Token and singles at Thistle Tavern, and your credit that you give me, I give you back as a discount code for PCG grading. If you want to get in here and get your name emblazoned forever on the Baz the Bard Who's Won What sheet, you can get some coaching from Shahmir, Samee as well. We give you a discount.
Absolutely. Beyond all the perks, I mean, they're all great. It's great to get some free stuff for your support. But if you love these meta reports and you want to see more of Baz, just hop on that Patreon, buy the man a coffee's worth of coins, and I'm sure you'll thank yourself for it later.
I have actually noticed a few mistakes here. I haven't actually pointed them out. So if you've noticed the mistakes too,
we get to play our favorite game once again. If you can go back through this entire video and mention in the comments all the things that Baz fucked up,
I've noticed
some imaginary reward. I don't know.
I've noticed 5. If you could get all 5.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a number of errors. So 5 is the target. If you post a comment with 6, I owe you a beverage at the next PQ. I see you.
Before we go, big shout out to Erica Forslov. She won a PQ in Drammen, Norway, and got herself a ragamuffin hat.
Absolutely did. Managed to take it down on Cilio as well. It was lovely to see the Lightning Wizard taking down a draft. I wonder if that's maybe a hint of things to come.
So Erica is so desperate to get to Japan. She's actually leaving tomorrow, which will be Tuesday,
she's,
the 8th of October.
Doing four weeks of tourist experience in Japan, from what I understand, and finishing off that trip with a world championship. And I think it'd be quite poetic if she didn't have room for a trophy in her luggage. So we'll have to wait and see how that managed to go.
Cherry on the top for a trip to Japan.
Would, wouldn't it?
Nice.
Certainly would.
Scott,
slightly off topic, Baz. Before we send things home, obviously you can cut this if you'd like, but anyone who wants to see more about Lyon, I did write an article very recently. If you want to go check that out as well, if you enjoyed the show there, you want to learn more about what went into that, Baz might put it for you in the description box below.
I hope to.
He might forget.
Might be one of the mistakes I made. That'd be number 6.
I've also been made aware that the week 1 results are available if you would like to take a look at them. Otherwise, I will fob people off onto a Twitter post to go look at them instead.
I stayed up late to try and get this done. I was just like,
you guys don't see this. Baz called me several hours later than normal. That's how dedicated to the craft this man is.
I tried to try and
get the week 1 results, and they weren't uploaded at very late our time. And then during the broadcast, they have gone live. So.
Never mind. We'll show those next week.
In which case, go to Twitter. There's a big old graph. Spoiler alert: Enigma did not win the most Pro Quests. So go take a look at that one.
All right, Scott. As you're on, I love it when you do the sign off.
Of course. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. It's appreciated. If you haven't already, do consider dropping a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. It helps Baz out a ton, especially if you want to see more of me, because how's he supposed to pay me otherwise? But until next time, I have been Howling Mines. That has been Baz the Bard, and you have been amazing. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again very, very soon.